What's going on, guys? I'm Tommy, and I'm coming at you with an action figure review. Today, I'm going to be reviewing Hasbro The Black Series, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Padawan. Now, this figure I had some excelled interest in recently because in 2024 here, where I'm reviewing this, there is actively being shipped to my house a GameStop exclusive Black Series 3-pack that has this exact figure in it. However, recently, namely Mr. Coffee of the Monday Night Figure Ball show has come up with this idea that this figure is my selfie series figure. A lot of people say that Black Series Obi-Wan Kenobi now looks like me more than it looks like Ewan McGregor, which I found to be hilarious. There are pictures from me from ICCCon 2024 where the Zoo Boy from Monday Night Figure Ball also got me a life-size Padawan braid from the Phantom Menace, and I wore that around for a little bit. There are pictures. It's pretty funny. Definitely go check out some of the ICCCon 2024 vlogs on my channel, as well as some of the other channels. But yeah, so this figure I felt a personal attachment to. I actually found this figure at Toy-Hio in October of 2024. Got it from Ohio Nerd on Instagram. Make sure to go check out his page. Shout out to him for giving me a good deal on this figure. So here I am opening it for you all today. So this is what used to be the standard packaging for mainline releases in the Black Series back when this came out in the late 2010s. So on the front of the box, you have your Black Series logo up top, a plastic window showing you the figure and his accessory. You have a nice little black and white illustration of the character down here on the bottom right, as well as the character's name here. On this side, you have these, a lot of people call these the red and black box design. I think you could probably figure out why. There is the number 85. They did not have, media specific sublines for each, show and movie. There was just one continuous numbered line for the main line of the Black Series. So you have 85 and the character's name. On the back of the box, you have again the Black Series logo, the number 85, character's name, that same illustration that we saw on the front of the box, blown up quite a bit, and a bio in about 1,000 different languages. This bio reads, "Like all Jedi of his era, Obi-Wan Kenobi was raised in the Jedi Temple from a very young age. He first underwent training with Yoda, before being assigned to Jedi Master Qui-Gon Jinn in his teens." And then down here you have some of your legalese. Don't feed this action figure to your babies, guys. On this side of the box, we do have, in the bigger gray text, we have part of Obi-Wan's name, and then in the smaller red text, you have the entire name of the figure. On the bottom of the box, we have even more legalese, and on the top, nothing. So this is what used to be the standard packaging. Actually, I do prefer the current packaging in the line over this, although I am beginning to become nostalgic for this packaging. So without further ado, let's get this figure opened and we'll check him out. Alright guys, here's Obi-Wan out of the box. Before we check him out, let's first check out his one accessory, being his lightsaber specific to Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. I do like that Obi-Wan had a unique lightsaber hilt and design, as opposed to what we see later on in Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, and Episode 4, A New Hope. This lightsaber hilt is very nice. It's got some nice black, silver, and a little bit of red here, and as this one's a little bit warped in the box, but it's been in the box for several years now. You'll see they also did sculpt in a little peg on the side of the hilt here so that you can attach this to his belt. They did also, of course, give you a very nice deep blue color for this lightsaber blade in some translucent plastic. I actually prefer this deeper color over the lighter color they've gone with in recent years. And as with all lightsabers in the Black Series, the blade does separate from the hilt, so that's what that looks like separated. All right, taking a look at Obi-Wan. So as I said before, this is definitely my selfie series figure. Now this guy is pretty good. I mean, I can see the young Ewan McGregor likeness here. His face is very, very shiny, but I'm a very sweaty guy, so, this actually makes sense for me as well. This guy does have some very good paint applications. I love the wash that they've given to the hair, as well as the little ponytail on the back of his head, and they've gone ahead and even given a little bit of that wash to his Padawan braid that kind of drapes down onto the front here. This is a very thin and malleable plastic, so as you articulate the head around, this should actually move around very nicely. As far as paint goes, the only real area on this figure that you see significant paint is on the belt. They've gone ahead and hit it with some dark brown for the belt itself, and they've also given you a little bit of gold for the little cartridges that are all along the little belt here, and all the pouches are also just in that dark brown color. They've given you a black paint application for where the lightsaber hilt attaches, and they've given you some silver here for the belt buckle too. Other than that, this guy just has a ton of sculpted detail for the Jedi robes. I think they've done a great job at sculpting the Jedi robes, and when it comes to the Jedi figures, I don't expect too much in the way of paint applications. As long as the robes are sculpted well and they look good on my shelf, that's all that I really care about at the end of the day. And of course down here they've also got some really nice sculpt work on these boots. Again, no paint applications at all. But again, I really don't expect paint applications or anything like that on a figure like this, just because this is not during a time of war. There's no need to have a wash. I don't know why in a time of peace Obi-Wan would be having dirty, disgusting robes. So this figure looks great to me. Now, let's cover the articulation. Now, this is an older figure. It is on a buck that the Black Series still uses. However, I do just want to keep in mind this is an older buck, so whereas I would usually say, oh, this sucks, oh, that sucks, I might not say that on this figure because I don't want to ding an older release when this really was the standard for the time. Obi-Wan does feature a double ball jointed neck, which is going to give you some decent range. He can look down just a little bit maybe. He can look up maybe ever so slightly. However, the sculpted Padawan braid is going to kind of levitate when he does that. You can tilt the head side to side a little bit, and he can obviously look right and left. He does have some butterfly joints. The outer tunic piece here is a rubbery overlay, so those butterfly joints do give you some really good range of motion there. They don't really get hindered too much by this rubbery overlay. He does also have a hinge and swivel at the shoulders. The shoulders can get you to about 90 degrees on that hinge, and of course the swivel gets you a full 360 degrees. He's got some deep cut single jointed elbows here. Those get you a little past that 90-degree bend, which is awesome, and he does have a swivel at the top of the elbow too. Obi-Wan also has a hinge and swivel down here at the wrists. So he has the swivel here and then a horizontal hinge at the right wrist, and then of course another horizontal hinge at the left wrist. He does also have faux trigger finger hands in both hands here, which means that the pointer finger is not sculpted to be separate from the rest of the hand, but you could probably still put a blaster in his hand if you wanted to. He's got a ball joint at the midsection here, which is going to give you some really good range for a Jedi character. This whole waist piece is a loose rubbery overlay, so we won't have any issue getting this to move out of the way for the hip joints, which are on a ball joint, and again offer some really nice range. There is a cut for a thigh swivel, which gives you some extra articulation there, and then he has some pinned double jointed knees at the knees. If you guys know me, you know I absolutely hate this articulation style because even though it offers more range of articulation, whereas Obi-Wan can kick his own ass, you can see it's just very ugly from the front especially. So I try not to extend those knees to the point where both joints are going to be showing extended there because it just looks gross to me. And then down here at the ankles, he has the forward facing pin for rocker that we've become very familiar with in the Black Series, as well as that hinge, which gets you a little bit of forward and gets you plenty of back. So for the time, this was actually really nice articulation for the Black Series, and it actually still holds up to today's Black Series articulation standards here in 2024. So now checking him out with the lightsaber hilt. So as I mentioned, the piece that is painted here for the lightsaber hilt to go into has a peg hole that corresponds with the peg on the lightsaber hilt. This looks great on the belt here, and it even passes the shake test. So this is going to be a very secure connection if you want to have Obi-Wan have his lightsaber on his belt. But I'm not a loser. I like to have my action figures in action poses. So let's put the lightsaber blade back into the hilt here. And with that lightsaber blade connected, let's get this into his right hand now. Obi-Wan's got a pretty secure grip on that lightsaber here, and it does also pass the shake test. Here's a nice little basic pose for Obi-Wan here, just kind of a ready stance with lightsaber in hand. I think this looks really nice. With those awesome butterfly joints, you can also achieve a two-handed lightsaber holding pose very easily with Obi-Wan here. Again, even with that rubbery overlay, it's a very easy pose to achieve, and I think this figure looks really good. Even with a more dated articulation style, this guy is really easy to get into a one-legged running pose, getting ready to run at Darth Maul after Darth Maul just impaled his Jedi Master. And here I've got a reenactment of one of the direct shots from the Duel of the Fates here with the brand new single-carded Darth Maul that came out this year. Definitely pick up that figure if you haven't already. These guys look awesome together, they scale really well, and they're going to look awesome on a Duel of the Fates display. And with that, guys, obviously, as it being my Selfie Series figure, I definitely recommend picking up this figure. If you can't find it on the aftermarket, because I know this release is getting a little expensive, definitely get that GameStop 3-pack. You get that awesome Darth Maul that I just showed with that soft goods robe that he comes with the Sith Speeder release, and you also get a Qui-Gon as well as an Obi-Wan, so I feel like that is the best pack to get for this awesome figure. With that, guys, I hope you enjoyed this review. If you did and you're not yet subscribed, subscribe to Blitz Transmissions. I've got awesome Star Wars content coming out all the time. Make sure to check out my social media, all of which is linked in the description below. That's going to be all for this review, guys. I'll catch you for the next one, and may the Force be with you.